Hello, Kat Livingston, dietitian again. So, as you may or may not be aware, depending on what you know about the American dietary guidelines, that the 1977 dietary guidelines that really focused on fat and cholesterol did not do us any favors. They said that fat and cholesterol were the issue instead of sugar, starches. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to get too high on my soapbox, but it is something that really, really frustrates me. So being told that cholesterol and fat were the major issues with our health issues, and that we're recommended to eat low-fat, non-fat things. I talked in the last video just about how important fat is for meal satisfaction and to help you not crave carbs. So there's another component to that, which is, to me personally, I get very frustrated being told that we have to tell people to eat low-fat, non-fat, because our brains need fat. Thank you, angels. I got lots of little angel signs that have been helping me along here. Have you ever seen the animation of what is going on in your brain when it's thinking? In your brain, as your neurons are sending messages, there's an electrical stimulus that travels along a thin layer of fat. I'm thinking of The Matrix because I just watched it again last night. It's just so freaking funny because our bodies are electrical generators. Now, I am woke, and so my understanding of all that might be a little bit different than anybody else's, or but in your brain, when you are thinking, your memory, your motor movements, all of those things, every single electrical signal that travels in your brain is traveling along a thin layer of fat. That is called your myelin sheath. And, MS is a destruction of the myelin sheath. So when you don't get enough fat, and if we've all been told to eat low-fat, non-fat everything, we haven't been getting adequate fat. So what do you think has happened since the 1977 dietary guidelines happened? You can see graphs where you can see obesity and diabetes go like this. Because what happens when you eat low-fat, non-fat everything, you crave carbs. It makes you fat, right? So you get fat from eating a bunch of carbs, which is worse on your health than your heart, of course. But what's going on in your brain? Are you thinking as adequately? Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, dementia. I see patients come in. I've had patients come in with tremors like this. And I'm like, have you talked to your doctor about this? Have they looked at it, what's going on in your body? No, don't even notice it. So when I'm talking about increasing fat in your diet, I'm talking about increasing healthy fat, because all of the professional organizations, including the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, all still tell you to eat low-fat, non-fat everything, knowing full well that if you aren't eating adequate fat, you're going to crave carbs. That frustrates me. The American Heart Association, the Diabetes Association, I work for a larger corporation. I am bound to recommend in my professional capacity what they recommend, which is to eat low-fat, non-fat everything. And I do not buy that. I do not agree with it. It is not true and is not what we need to be doing. Isn't it funny that as I work with my patients and they start increasing the fat, that their memories improve, their sleep improves, their thinking and cognition improve. I have patients who use MCT oil, which I do recommend for most people to use. It's fantastic as a supplement, not as a main energy source for a keto diet, but as a supplement, because it does several things. But one of the things that it does is always makes you lose weight. Hello. But also, I love it for my brain. So I have a keto coffee in the morning because I want to wake up. I want to have energy. I want to think well. I want my brain to be working and being on task. Of course, who doesn't? I'll talk about MCT. Possibly this one might be a different one. So I have to recommend, and in a safe way as well. I'm not recommending people just start eating a whole bunch of beef burgers and cheese. No, and bacon, yes, yum, in moderation, absolutely. But I can wholeheartedly put my support against, uphold to eat healthy fats. They're not going to make you gain weight like that. So how I work with my patients to lose weight, it's kind of a threefold program. Meal frequency is vitally important. If you watch the video a little bit about me, it will tell you that all I did was start eating more frequently and I lost weight. Especially as women, your body does not let go of weight if you don't feed it. You want your metabolism to get faster? What happens about 30 years old? Your metabolism starts going down. You want to improve that and keep that metabolism going, you need to feed your metabolism. Your body doesn't let go of weight if you don't feed it. Eating breakfast within the first hour of the day breaks the fast. I'll have to do another video about that, about glycogen and what's going on at night and why breaking the fast is so important. But eating 5-6 times a day, and I say 6, eat breakfast within the first hour of waking, have breakfast, have a snack, have lunch, have a snack, have dinner, have a snack. So the way I work with my patients is kind of a threefold thing. 1, meal frequency, eating within the first hour of waking, very important. Number 2, every time you eat, I want you to have fiber, protein, and healthy fat. Remember what that fiber is going to do for your blood sugars. It's going to keep it stable. Plus, you also need adequate fiber for your GI tract. Protein, you're always going to need it. Eat it every time you have protein, every time you eat, okay? And the third part is having that healthy fat every time you eat to satisfy you so that you're satisfied going into the next snack, going into the next meal. If I can only make one change in someone's life, it's going to be eating breakfast within the first hour of waking, because invariably it wakes up that metabolism. I have patients who are like, I'm not hungry for breakfast. I don't eat breakfast because I'm not hungry for it. That is because you have turned off those body signals and you have stopped listening to your body. Period. Been there, done that. I've had so many patients who've been there, done that, and then they come into me and they're like, now I'm hungry within 15 minutes of waking up. It's really annoying. Good, because that's going to set your metabolism up to start eating more frequently to get you losing weight. And the third part is have that evening snack, hopefully of just avocado, but something that's low to no carb, but higher healthy fat to put yourself into fat burning, but also to make those morning blood sugars look beautiful, which is going to help your pancreas, which is going to help your body, which is going to help your weight. It's all gravy. It's all good. There's no downside to that. So I guess I'm going to talk about MCT right now. I love MCT oil. So MCT oil, I learned about this in school. A true ketogenic diet was invented for patients with epilepsy. Why? The brain, right? So when you're thinking about these fats, think about the brain. Your brain can use 2 sources of fuel: ketones, which come from fat metabolism, or glucose, which comes from carbohydrates. Notice protein is not in there. We talked about protein. It's not a true energy source for you. Your body uses it to build, okay? So I had patients coming to me wanting to make keto coffee, and they were using coconut oil. Now, coconut oil is wonderful, antiviral, antibacterial, has all these wonderful things, but it's also very, very high in saturated fat. Now, 62 to 65% of coconut oil is made from medium chain fatty acids. Medium chain fatty acids are awesome. They are completely metabolized by your liver, so they don't go into the bloodstream. And since they don't go into the bloodstream, they don't require the pancreas. In fact, they reduce inflammation, and they can reduce inflammation for the pancreas and the gallbladder. I actually just did some research on that for a doctor, for a patient who has gallbladder pancreatitis. And I'm like, well, because they have to recommend a low-fat diet. MCT is something that doctors can use and do use for people who have fat malabsorption because it's metabolized by the liver. Well, guess what else it does? And I have a good 22 printed out studies for anybody who wants to know any of that stuff. I've got so many studies. I've researched the crap out of this because originally I recommended it instead of coconut oil to be a healthier option. But I was using it myself for the healthy fat in my brain, but it made me lose weight. And I did not want to lose weight. I don't need to lose weight. I eat I'm trim. I'm good. I'm all good. Don't need to lose weight. So then I started only having it with hash browns and putting it in my coffee and using chocolate. Like I use Silk Protein Nut Milk, love that stuff. And I use the chocolate milk. I switched to just the chocolate instead of the plain. I still lost weight. And I mean, I knew because my veins were popping out, my rings were getting too big, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? So I went back to the drawing board. I went back and looked for more studies. Oh my gosh. And I was just blown away. Okay, so first of all, it's metabolized by the liver, and it reduces LDL cholesterol and triglycerides and increases HDL and can prevent non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. So it cleans up the liver. It's really good for it. Second of all, it's wonderful for the brain, right? The ketones in the brain can use the ketones for energy. You feel good. You have this healthy fat going around your brain. That's fantastic. Plus, it gives you a burst of energy. Because it is metabolized by the liver and doesn't go to the bloodstream, it's good for the pancreas, which we already talked about, and the gallbladder. But it also helps with insulin resistance. And I found these studies, and it was just like, yes, it always makes you lose weight. Like, what? There is a fantastic article by Stanford GI Gastroenterology. And it talks about the different things that it can be used for: cardiovascular disease, pancreatitis, liver disease, insulin, obesity, insulin resistance. But guess what else it helps do? It helps repair the GI lining. Interesting. So let's see. If we're not eating adequate fruits and vegetables and whole grains, our GI tract, which is a muscle, may not be working as well. You know, we need what you are is what you eat is very, very true when it comes to your GI tract. And having a healthy microbiome is vitally important for your immune system, your weight. 70% of the serotonin made in your body is made in your gut. You need a healthy gut. I highly recommend a daily probiotic. I personally take one every day. I also use digestive enzymes because I want to make sure everything's really getting broken down and absorbed. And I recommend like a digestive enzyme that also has probiotics and a soothing GI blend. And my probiotic also has a soothing GI blend. And what else? And what else does it have in it? Oh, prebiotic fiber. Prebiotic fiber is food for the organisms. So that's important too, because you can take a probiotic every day, but if you're eating crap and you're eating out every day, it's like planting a forest every day and just letting them all die. You got to feed the healthy guys. So MCT feeds the healthy guys. Antiviral encourages the healthy bacteria, discourages E. coli and C. diff. These are amazing, amazing things. So I have been accused of pushing the keto diet or recommending the keto diet. Not true. I do recommend it as a supplement. So most of my patients, That that article recommended not to exceed 4 to 7 tablespoons. Some people have some GI issues when they start taking it, especially if they take it on an empty stomach. So for the keto coffee people, I used to recommend it for a keto coffee, but not if they just take it on black. If they don't eat breakfast and they just have black coffee, I've had patients with some GI upset. So then I just say, take it with your meals. Take 1 tablespoon, work your way up from 1 teaspoon to 1 tablespoon and take it at your meals. What I have noticed is that people who eat a lot of vegetables, such as myself, it's not a problem. But I know that I eat a very high fiber diet. And I've even done a study where I've saw how long it took to go through me. So it's not a problem for me, but for some people it has. You want to make sure that it doesn't have anything else added to it, like filler oils. And when it comes to the ingredients, you want the caprylic and the capric. If it has lauric acid, that is also a medium chain, and it's a good one, but you don't necessarily need it in your MCT. So then it tends to be more like 93% MCT oil. I always get the ones that are organic from coconuts. I just got this one. I normally get mine at Costco, or I get the one Nature's Way from Fred Meyer's Natural Grocers. It's organic, 100% from coconuts. I never use palm oil because it's not good. Not good. Rainforests, all that kind of stuff. So I hope this is helpful. Personally, if I'm making my personal keto coffee, I use that. And I use the Silk Protein Nut Milk, either the original or the chocolate, which is also delicious as a snack because 1 cup has 14 grams of sugar, which is 1 carb choice, 10 grams of protein from peas, and 5 grams of fat, which is really yummy. So hopefully that helps you. Bye-bye.